We are going to be talking about dietary best practices during COVID 19 and beyond. Of course, COVID 19 and the lockdowns associated with it have taught us that we need to be self reliant in terms of our wellness and health care. And that means that we need to be self reliant in our diet and nutrition. We need to be self reliant in terms of exercise and lifestyle, and then taking care of our health to boost our immunity. So, I'm going to be talking about how to boost our immunity and how to detox uh, to keep the infections and viruses and various diseases away from us. So let me share my screen, okay, and then let me share with you the slides. So I hope everybody can see this. And we're going to start with some of the dietary best practices for COVID 19 and beyond. So the first thing that I always recommend my patients and also my students, we have a clinic and academy here, okay, where we teach certificate courses, and many of our students and participants are healthcare practitioners, nurses, people who are into doing healthcare. So for both our students and our patients, we say something that you can start very easily, okay, is uh, fill a clean thermos with pure hot water and take sips of hot water every 30 minutes. It's a very simple dietary practice, but specifically for viruses, okay, that get transmitted through upper respiratory system, okay, or digestive system. What this sipping of hot water does is it keeps your throat moist and helps to prevent the penetration of the virus, and then it actually drains the virus into your stomach, where the stomach acid kills the virus. So this has been a very standard dietary guideline that has been given by all nutritionists and also by health departments. So that's a very simple beginning. Then what wisdom we can take from our wonderful Indian science and tradition of Ayurveda? When cooking meals, Ayurveda did not teach us just to fix your grains by steaming them, okay, or by cooking them, or cook your vegetables, okay, by just stir frying them. It told us that along with cooking the foods, you can raise the foods to almost like pharmaceutical nutritional level by combining them with certain culinary herbs, which are actually botanical medicines that you bring into your kitchen. So to take your nutrition, to take your veggies, grains, lentils from just a fuel level to the medicine level, I usually suggest that while cooking your vegetables, grains, and lentils, use turmeric, ginger, garlic, black pepper. We do use these spices anyway, but now specifically during COVID 19 and beyond. Now, why beyond is important? Because we already know the predictions are being done by epidemiologists, okay, and other health specialists, okay, that this is not going to end by the end of May or June, but in fall we might have another wave of some COVID 19 or a similar virus, or COVID 19 itself combined with flu. And then a few years later, we might have some other viruses or some other infections coming. So from now onwards, we need to include in our nutrition immune boosting herbs, and those are turmeric, ginger, garlic, black pepper. If you have been using small amounts, increase it now. Now, to boost your immune system, it is important to avoid congestion, because if you are congested, the circulation goes down, okay, the secretion of the enzymes, okay, goes down, your metabolism rate goes down. So to keep your metabolic rate high, we have to avoid congestion. And to avoid congestion, I usually recommend preferring cooked hot foods. So you have to reduce cold items or cold raw salads, which might be helpful other times. But now to boost your immunity, we need to prefer cooked hot foods. And then in addition to avoiding cold items and cold raw salads, I also say avoid dairy because dairy increases congestion. It also increases inflammation, which will be discussing, which will be discussed by our next speaker. And then we definitely suggest and encourage to avoid sugars because sugars increase inflammation and weaken the immunity, weaken our disease fighting capacity. So sugars, artificial sweeteners, processed foods, deep fried foods, saturated animal fats, these need to be avoided. So those are some dietary best practices for COVID-19 and beyond. Now, it is not only sufficient for us to have our diet taken to immune boosting level, but along with the diet, specifically in today's age where our diet sometimes is not able to provide all of the nutrients that we need, and in times of a pandemic like currently with COVID-19, we need to use dietary supplements so that they will fortify our diet and will provide us extra layer of protection. And for that, for our patients and our students here in our clinic and academy, we recommend standardized extract of curcumin. So curcumin is the active constituent that comes from turmeric, and so we use a standardized curcumin extract, okay, 1,000 milligrams daily. Because, and then we also suggest our very well respected tulsi, the holy basil or Ocimum sanctum. And then the Ayush department in India, along with the Central Council for Research in Ayurveda and Siddha, has been strongly recommending Guduchi as the top Ayurvedic botanical medicine or clinically proven herb to boost immune system. So all of these can be taken in 1,000 milligrams daily because all of these are natural anti-inflammatories. They are antiviral, specifically curcumin and tulsi are very powerful antivirals. They have been clinically proven for hundreds of years. And then they are also immune boosters and liver tonics, specifically the Guduchi, which is also called as Giloy, that is a very powerful liver tonic. We all have been knowledgeable about Chawanprash. So there is a special type of Chawanprash called Amrit Chawanprash, which has easy to digest natural vitamin C in high dose, and it is full of antioxidants and bioflavonoids. And vitamin C, antioxidants, and bioflavonoids are known immune boosters, and they increase our disease resistance and specifically increase our ability to fight infections. Now, it is very important to enhance your digestion and avoid constipation. And for that, Triphala, which has got 3 berries in there, all of those 3 berries are antioxidants. They enhance digestion and they enhance elimination of wastes and toxins. So elderly people who are more prone to constipation, we recommend them Triphala and 1,000 milligrams daily. Finally, people who do include animal products in their diet, okay, we recommend fish oil up to 2,000 milligrams daily because fish oil is known as a very powerful anti-inflammatory and immune booster. Now, to boost our immunity, to do detoxification, besides diet and dietary supplements, we also need to support that with lifestyle best practices. So here are some lifestyle best practices that help in boosting your immunity. and preventing infection. So one simple thing is gargle 1 cup of hot water with half teaspoon of sea salt and quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder. So for all of our patients, this is the routine that they do, is that in a cup of hot water, okay, we add some turmeric and salt and ask them to gargle it first thing in the morning. So you let that salt dissolve in the hot water, you let the turmeric leave its extract in the water, and then once it comes to comfortable temperature for your throat, you do the gargle, and you do at least about 4 or 5 gargles, so that the salt water brings more circulation in your capillaries of the throat, and then the water gets absorbed in small quantities, and along with the extract of turmeric gets absorbed, and in a filter paper like action, it or a blotting paper like action, it spreads to your upper respiratory system, and it also spreads to your lower respiratory system and gives you the anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antihistamine, antiseptic benefits of the turmeric. Then the next lifestyle practice, okay, that's good for COVID-19 and beyond is nasal moisturization. Now you can do nasal moisturization with steam alone by inhaling some steam. So you make sure that you have a pot kept at a safe distance, and you cover yourself with a towel, and you inhale that steam. As the steam enters your nasal passages, it settles, okay, on the mucous membranes, and it creates moisturization there. And another easy way is also to use 1 drop of sesame oil in each nostril. So you can just use cooking grade sesame oil. You can put dip a Q-tip in there, or you can dip your pinky in there, okay, and then you can just moisturize, okay, your nose, and then of course wash your fingers promptly. So that moisturization creates a protective layer on your mucous membrane of the nasal cavity, and then once again does not allow the viruses to penetrate easily, and again provides you that extra layer of protection. Common sense things about lifestyle practices is exercising every day. For a healthy adult, I say minimum 30 minutes of exercise, and that could be walking, running, jogging, going up and down the steps in your house, or doing push-ups, sit-ups, or whatever exercise that you are comfortable with without causing you any pain. And then if you are familiar with yoga, doing sun salutations or Surya Namaskar. So Surya Namaskar is a very complete exercise. It exercises all of your joints and muscles. So that will be very helpful for you. And then meditating for 20 minutes resets all of the physiology of your body. So that is very helpful. And then we suggest sleep at least 8 hours. So within these dietary practices and dietary supplements and lifestyle practices, there are some things that I already said about how you can detox. For example, avoiding dairy, sugar, sweetener, processed foods is a kind of detox. By using Triphala, you are doing detox. By gargling, you are doing detox. Uh, and by exercising, you are doing detox. But in addition to that, many of our patients say, okay, now in COVID, I feel sluggish, my digestion is weak, I have gained weight. So how do I do now and many more weeks of lockdown? How do I do my detox? So we have created a do-it-yourself whole body natural detox program in which, okay, we use natural cleansing and healing of yoga, Ayurvedic panchakarma, and nutrition. And that involves our patients using various simple lifestyle items to do their own detox with some supplements. And then we teach 6 online videos. And then also we do a telemedicine consultation. And what is involved in all of this? So there is coaching of self-reliance in healthy diet and lifestyle. There is practical training from experts. And then we even teach them how to cook foods and recipes. You'll see one of the recipes, okay, from Gayatri today. And then the most important in this detox and wellness are these 8 steps that we walk our students and patients through. So we teach them how to detox, okay, by taking care of your eyes, ears, nose, and throat. How to do-it-yourself detox at home by taking care of your skin and scalp. How to take care of your muscles, joints, and metabolism. How to take care of your breath, senses, and mind. How to use whether yoga stretches or simple athletic stretches and exercises to detox and cleanse yourself. And then we teach them various techniques about boosting immunity, digestion, elimination, and metabolism. Again, most important is using proper diet and nutritional supplements to have a healthy diet, and also to use it for detox. And then during these video workshops, we even do cooking demos of detox herb tea, detox soups, and meals. So usually this all happens, okay, at our clinic here in San Jose near Santana Row. I wish you could have all come to for this best practices series. We could have done this in our academy here. We have done some of these ICC programs here in the past, okay, at our place. So we have a team of 6 integrative health experts, and then we use advanced diagnostics and clinically proven herbal medicines with diet and lifestyle modifications for treating diseases. So I thank ICC for inviting me to do this presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions later on towards the end. So I encourage everybody to stay safe, stay well, use the best dietary practices, dietary supplements, and also lifestyle practices to enhance your health and wellness during COVID and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shanbag. That was a wide-ranging tips coming from you. And of course, when times are better, I'm sure a lot of us would visit your clinic once again. So without much ado, I would invite Veena Uttarwar to talk about anti-inflammatory meal plan, recipes, and a variety of other suggestions that she has for all of you. So over to you, Veena. And Dr. Shanbag, we have quite a few questions for you, and we'll take it up during the interactive session. So over to you, Veena.
Sounds good.
Thank you, thank you, Som. Thank you, Dr. Shanbag. It was very good explanation on dietary guidelines, lifestyle, and supplements for better immunity. I learned new things about detox today from your presentation. And hello, everyone. This is Veena Uttarwar. Now, let me take this opportunity to present how anti-inflammatory diet can help in our daily lives to improve our immunity system. Because as you know, prevention is better than cure. So especially when it comes to COVID-19. So anti-inflammatory diet is not a classic slimming diet for weight loss. Ideally, this is a lifestyle change. So it's a diet that aims to reduce the inflammatory state of the body to maintain or improve immunity. So many studies show that antioxidant-rich anti-inflammatory meals help reduce the inflammation and balances the oxidation stress. For example, both Mediterranean diet and DASH diet are example. But being an Indian vegetarian diet, except few things, it's most of it is a plant-based diet. So it's they're coming as an anti-inflammatory features. So here is the quick food guide. COVID-19 has put the whole world in unprecedented situation. Our perspective has changed. So more than ever before, it's a time to reflect upon our lifestyles and our nutritional values for the entire family. So especially families with elder people with pre-existing conditions and with young kids with the different expectations. So this is the time to educate, adapt, and prioritize on what we need to eat and how to make this part of new lifestyle for healthy living. But the old habits die hard. So change is not easy. Sudden change is never easy. So hard to control cravings, especially when working from home. So if you agree on that, please give me thumbs up. And I will share some tips for you later for controlling cravings. So good news is that our taste buds regenerate every 2 weeks. So if we plan meals for 2 weeks, then it gets a little easier to incorporate into our lifestyle. Be patient. The anti-inflammatory way of eating can take a while to be effective. Try it for at least 6 weeks or longer. Eventually, it should become a habitual way of eating to keep you healthy in long term. So I would suggest in this box you see anti-inflammatory foods. I don't know you see it or not. So eat more of these and then reduce the red color box foods. And I won't repeat because Dr. Shanbag also mentioned all these foods. So I would suggest talk to the whole family and get everyone to agree and put together a simple meal plan and educate everyone about do's and don'ts and involve everyone to find at least one recipe that they like. So they feel like involved and it gets motivated to, eat other foods and appreciate what other person, family chose. So modify recipes if to your own taste. Like if hummus is bland, you add cilantro and green chilies to spice it. And try to increase the intake of foods from the green box. For example, to increase vegetables and fruits into daily meals, if possible, add 3 types of vegetables to each meal. One is crunchy, like bell peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. And the other one is leaf vegetables, spinach, kale, chard, and so on. And third one is root vegetables, sweet potatoes, carrots, onions, or make it colorful as much as colorful possible. And have one fruit between the meals with some nuts and seeds, especially pumpkin seeds, which has zinc. Zinc helps the immunity system fight off the bacteria and viruses. So, and then include probiotics like fermented kefir, plant-based yogurts are more preferable over milk dairy, and kimchi, miso, kombucha. If you don't want to eat anything, this is a good drink that provides the probiotics. And there are 3 types of pro-inflammatory foods in this green box that we need to pay attention in this diet. Grains that have gluten, which such as wheat, barley, rye, and dairy, and some oils that we use in cooking. Today, I am going to cover on grains. For most of Indo-Americans, wheat is a staple food. So common roti is a must, which is made out with wheat flour. Unfortunately, industrialization has changed the wheat so much that our bodies are reacting to wheat products silently. Decrease the consumption of gluten containing wheat to prevent digestive disturbances and inflammation. Many studies shows that gluten from wheat is inflammatory protein, so we need to reduce it, but gradually. Fortunately, India is a nature's basket and offers variety of grains without gluten. such as ragi, jowar, bajra, rice, amaranth. All these grains, except rice, are nutrient dense and hypoallergic, unrefined starches with a balance of vitamin B and magnesium to support our digestion and balance blood sugar. I would suggest make changes gradually. For instance, if you are used to making a wheat rotis, start with half wheat flour and half ragi flour or any millet flour. Gradually, you will get used to it and acquire new taste and start liking it. For enrichment, uh, for enriched nutrients, you can add a spoonful of flaxseed powder. And another dish is like simple but very tasty. Rice and dal makes a good combination in khichdi. For variety, replacing rice with millets does not make a big difference in taste, but it makes a world of difference in nutritional profile, such as bajra khichdi, jowar khichdi, fox millet khichdi, for instance, simple yet salvating millet recipes that can be made. Since we grew up with rice, it is very difficult to give up white rice. So it is recommended choosing brown rice instead of white rice, or make a starch resistance rice so that it doesn't elevate blood sugar levels. Brown rice has some fiber, but brown rice is in high in carbohydrates and elevates blood sugar. So if you add 1/4 portion quinoa to brown rice, it is a good modification. So quinoa has a complex carbohydrates and all amino acid chains. So quinoa sprouts in 40 minutes. So that's another add thing we can do. These sprouts are more easier to digest. So you can use sprouted quinoa in the rice mix. There are other types of rice, wild rice and red rice. There are so many different ways that you can make a biryanis and dishes with rice too. So I can share my own experience. We now don't miss a wheat roti at all and enjoy mixed millet rotis, which has rich in calcium, potassium, minerals, and proteins. So you see, millets have number of health benefits. However, millets are known to possess goitrogens, the anti-nutritional factor if you have a thyroid problem. In general, millets are easy to digest with full of nutrients, therefore fit for consumption by every age group. So we are running out of time, I guess, but this is a food craving chart. If I will go quickly, if you crave sweets, eating few fistful of cranberries or red grapes or nuts, that helps for that craving. As such, salty with the cashews and nuts and seeds. And soda is another interesting thing. For some people, soda is sugar that kicks in and that becomes addictive. But for some people, it's feel of that carbonated water. So kombucha is another good drink. It's a probiotic, and then it has that bubbly feeling to satisfy superficially. Uh, and alcohol is a big thing, but I just give you a tip for black olives and nuts seem helping few people, and lot of studies are going on, and alcohol retreat places also use black olives and nuts quite a bit. So I won't go over any of, we went over the veggies. Try to get 3 veggies in every meal of the day, fruits with nuts as a snack, hydration, exercise, and meditation. And I am big on gratitude and laughter. I really like every day, end of the day, whole family should get together and just talk about being a gratitude to whatever you think for that day, and then have one joke so that whole family can laugh and um, be happy and sleep well. And face everything together, so it will be fine, in 1 or 2 years or 3 or 4 years. It doesn't matter how long it would take. Even if you get the COVID, we will fight with all these tips and dietary stuff. And I hope everybody enjoyed the day today. I hear it a simple Ayurveda tea that I put, but I know Dr. Shanbach went on elaborative. So thank you. Keep open-minded. Try new foods. Develop new tastes. And nutrition is a science and cooking is art. They go hand in hand. Learning to be well and is a skill that ripens over the time. Have fun.
Thank you, Veena. So Veena is a holistic nutritionist, and also she's coordinating the entire food project of ICC Crack the Wellness Code. So thank you, Veena. I'm sure there are questions for you, and they'll come eventually once we get into the interactive session. So without much ado, I would invite Gayatri Shanbag to tell us another story on dietary best practices. And of course, she has told us that she is definitely challenged, like all of us, in a lockdown situation to get a lot of ingredients. She had some other plans, so I'm sure you will hold on till the next time. But this time she's going to do something simple, but within that simple thing that she's going to show you and tell you a little bit about the Ayurvedic style of cooking, she will give you a lot of varieties. Over to you, Gayatri.
Thank you, Somjit. That is very nice of you. Hi, everyone. I'm Gayatri Shanbag. I have graduated from Masters in Nutrition 26 years ago. I've been practicing Ayurvedic nutrition here at our clinic in San Jose, which is very close to Santana Row here. And today, what we are going to do is that very simple herb tea that is very important in Ayurvedic cooking. I'm going to demonstrate to you right now, and which is so simple that I can do it within less than 10 minutes. So here my recipe is in front of you. So what we are doing today is that for all body types in Ayurveda, as you know that we have 3 different body types. I'm today going to demonstrate a tea that is good for all the 3 body types. So simple tea, the ingredients are written here. The coriander seed, I'm using 2 tablespoons of coriander seed, which is a very good cooling and very good for digestion. So whether it is for any masalas in our Indian cooking or in Ayurvedic tea, we use base as coriander because it cools the body down. And when you are using the heating spices, whether it is cardamom, whether it's turmeric and all the heating spices, when you use it with coriander, that balances your body heat. So what we are going to do is, for the tea, we are going to use 2 tablespoons of coriander seed. I hope you are going to see that. And the next one you see is the fennel seed. As we know that after each meal, we have a habit of chewing fennel seed because when you are chewing it, improves, you get your own saliva extra, and then it is very good carminative or digestive. So I'm using, and also the quality of cumin is cooling. So I'm using same amount of fennel seed as coriander seed. So 2 tablespoons of fennel seed, I'm using it in this recipe. The next one that I'm going to show you is the cumin seed. I'm using 1 teaspoon. You can look at the difference between 2 tablespoons of coriander versus 1 teaspoon of cumin, because cumin is mildly heating compared to coriander and fennel. So that is the reason, to balance the other spices, I am using 1 teaspoon of cumin seed. All of these are antioxidants. Nowadays, you hear about everybody saying during the COVID, try and boost your immune system and then add more antioxidants in your diet. These are the antioxidants that we are adding in our herb tea instead of doing everyday tea that we have a habit of doing it. Let's change to the herb tea, which is very good for your body. So in this tea, I'm using 1 teaspoon of cumin, which is very good for digestion. Uh, and then the next one that I'm going to use is that turmeric. So you all are know that the turmeric is heating, so I'm using only 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, the whole spice. And then the turmeric, as you know, it is anti-inflammatory, antihistamine. So people with allergies, you can use 2 months before your allergy season hits. Start using extra turmeric or turmeric gargle, or use in your tea or extra in your cooking. So that is very good for yeah, it'll make sure that you already have antihistamine in your diet before it hits the season, allergy season. So I'm using the turmeric, 1/2 teaspoon, and then I'm using 5 pods of cardamom. Cardamom is also a very good antioxidant, and it's also is very good for many other, not just the immune boosting. It is also very good for your heart health. It is also wonderful for blood pressure because it is a natural diuretic. So on a long term, you don't get the effect immediately just by sipping 1 cup of tea. But if you have a habit of drinking the tea 2 or 3 cups a day for a month long, and you will see the result. And then the next ingredient I'm going to use is that fenugreek. Fenugreek is the Indian methi. So it is a bitter herb, and it is amazing for not just immune boosting. It is very good for the liver. It is also good for reducing the body heat. When you have extra heat, it is the nice way to get rid of the body heat is using the methi seed or the fenugreek seed. And also it's ideal for even weight loss. It's a tissue drying effect of the methi, and also it's very good for the people with diabetes or for the sugar metabolism. So that is what we are using. But because the nature of fenugreek is warming, I'm using, and also the bitterness, I'm using only the 1/4 teaspoon of fenugreek in this tea. The next ingredient I'm going to use is the fresh ginger. Like turmeric, this is also anti-inflammatory, and it's also very good herb for your lungs. Like, you have, during the cold season to reduce the phlegm or the mucus, or to help your lungs. We have all had ginger. So I'm using the ginger. I'm using 2 inch of grated ginger. You can just crush the ginger or put the whole ginger, however you want to use it. So I have grated 2 inch piece of ginger here. So the simple, what I've done is that instead of grinding here, wasting time, I have already ground all the powder. To ground the powder, you don't have to grind it finely. I want you can either make a coarse powder of the spices. You can either use the mortar and pestle, just a simple whatever you have, or once you know that it's going to be useful for you, make a batch that is good for next 1 week. If you have a spice grinder, like a coffee grinder, I use the coffee grinder, simple small coffee grinder for my spices. So you can just crush it. Don't powder it, just crush it and then keep it ready in an airtight container. So the coarse powder is ready. So the next is that accept the ginger. Please don't use the ginger because ginger is a wet spice. So, and it's all ready and ginger is here. So what I'm going to do is that bring 8 cups of water to boil in a teapot. I have a teapot here. And then the good thing with this teapot is that it has a built-in filter. So what I'm going to do is that in the teapot, I will add already crushed spice powder. If you don't have the filter, what you can do is you can filter it, regular filter. And then I have already boiled 8 cups of water here. I'm going to use, and then I'm going to add the ginger, and then I'm going to add and then let's steep it for about 10 minutes. So once you steep it, you can strain it by using a filter, or if you have a filtered cup already built into your teapot, then you just have to pour it into a cup. So with simple like that, your cup of tea is ready within 10 minutes. So you can see the tea already with the flavors. So what you can do is that you can sip it with the honey, little bit of honey, or if you have any other sweetener, you can use that. Honey is very good for the lungs, so we are using it. But honey is a little bit of heating, so make sure you use only a couple teaspoon of honey in a. So what I want to talk about next few minutes is that you can do customize the herb tea for your body type. So in Ayurveda, we talk about 3 body types: Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And the Vata people, the people of this body type are relatively more cold, dry, and fast. For this body type, what we use is that you see that 3 dosha herbs. What it means is that this is good for all the 3 doshas. So we keep that as a common one in all the 3 body type and add other ones that are good for them. So for example, 3 dosha herbs for Vata are coriander, fennel, cumin, turmeric, and cardamom. Now, the calming and digestive herbs for Vata people are dill, which is very good for digestion, cinnamon, which is very warming and stimulating, and nutmeg. Nutmeg is used as a mind calming because Vata people are fast, so they have a hard time falling asleep. So for that, nutmeg is ideal to calm them before going to bed. And then chamomile is also very good relaxative for them. And then the last one is ginger. It's very good for them. And then let's go to the next type, which is a pitta people. People of this body type are relatively more hot, reactive, and sharp. We call it hungry and angry people. I'm sorry. So the 3 dosha herbs are common. We already talked about it. And then now the other herbs that are good for cooling pitta is mint, which is very cooling, and fenugreek with the bitterness of the fenugreek and the heat relieving action of the fenugreek. That is the reason fenugreek is good for pitta. And other one is saffron. Saffron is also very cooling. It's also very good for the liver. So we all know that saffron is very expensive. Use few strands of saffron in your tea. So if the last one is kapha, people of this body type are relatively more heavy, slow, and moist. So the 3 dosha herbs, we all know about it. The last one that is good for kapha are the drying herbs like cinnamon, black pepper, ginger, and fenugreek, because kapha people tend to gain weight on the heftier side. So for them, anything that can help them get rid of that is ideal. So we use the drying herbs like this. So if you know your body type, use all of this herb. If not, the one that we have, I have told you for all the 3 dosha, please use it. So we do teach not just herb tea, the complete Ayurvedic nutrition and cooking demos here at our clinic in natural medicine and Ayurveda in San Jose. So we have complete 6 doctors and nutritionists work here. So thank you all for listening. And if you have any questions, let's go and answer that.
So thanks, Gayatri. Okay, so let's go ahead with the questions. We have a lot of questions, and I would request Dr. Sachin Deshmukh, who's also an Ayurvedic and homeopathic doctor, also here. So he'll also collaborate with me in doing the questions because we have a lot of them. So let me start first with the questions. The first question is uh, basically saying that from where do we buy curcumin, tulsi, and guruchi?
So these are very common herbs. They are available everywhere. You can buy them on internet. You can buy them at Whole Foods. You can buy them even at Trader Joe, I guess. Nowadays, if you cannot walk into Whole Foods and Trader Joe, you can do it website. So we have at our clinic a complete pharmacy. So we also have the pharmaceutical grades of this. So instead of using plain turmeric, we usually use a standardized herbal extract because that guarantees that you have the right amount of curcumin in every single capsule. The same thing again with tulsi, we do not use plain powder of tulsi, we use standardized herbal extract because you want to make sure that it gives you the results that you are expecting and that you are recommending it for. So we usually recommend instead of using plain uh, turmeric powder as a supplement. Now, in cooking, you need to use the turmeric powder. Or if you are just making a herb tea, you can use tulsi leaves. But when you are taking it as a supplement specifically to boost your immunity, to fight these or to prevent these viruses that we are being attacked by, for curcumin, tulsi, and guduchi, I usually recommend standardized herbal extracts.
Thank you, Dr. Shanbag. The next question has to do more with hygiene. So this is basically, trying to find out what is the best way to wash vegetables and fruits after bringing them from the stores.
Wash them in lukewarm water for about good uh, uh, 20 seconds. So soak them in a tub, okay, a plastic tub or a steel tub, okay, and then you can put a pinch of turmeric also in there, okay, that serves as a antiseptic. And then nowadays, if you are concerned about the virus, then you can also put a tablespoon of vinegar in that water and soak it for about good 5 minutes and then wash it. Otherwise, if it has a smooth surface like an apple or something, then you can wash it under lukewarm water for 10 to 15 seconds.
So, okay, so thanks, Dr. Shanbag, once again. So as I go to the next question, we still have time for you to put some more questions in the chat box. So please go ahead and do that. Or you want to put it in the Q&A. Either way, you can continue doing that. The next question is, what is sprouted rice or sprouted millets?
It is not sprouted rice or millet. It was a quinoa that I was talking about. If you soak quinoa, quinoa is a grain. It's a Peruvian grain. So if you soak quinoa for 40 minutes, it starts sprouting. Then it's more easily digestible because it has all amino acids. For some people, it is hard to digest. So that's why I said, soak it, and it only takes a 40 minutes to sprout. So it's a quinoa.
Thank you. So the next question is a more fundamental question on turmeric. So the question is that we use turmeric and multiple other spices mentioned in our regular Indian cooking. Is that enough? Or we should consider buying supplements? Are the supplements more potent?
It is not that we have to buy supplements like Veena mentioned. Our agricultural practices have come far away from nature. Our soil is depleted, specifically here in the industrialized countries where most of our listeners are from. Okay, and then we use hybrid seeds. Okay, and then we also use tons of insecticides, pesticides, and other chemicals. So those make our foods weak in vitamins or deplete all of the nutrients from our foods because the goal nowadays is to have maximum production per acre, have it very stable for transportation from the field to the shelf, and have maximum shelf life. So the foods are not grown nowadays for optimizing the nutrients, but they are grown to have maximum production per acre, the transportability and shelf life. So with those wrong focuses, the nutrients in our foods are compromised. So unfortunately, we have to take supplements, specifically in challenging times like today's pandemics, okay, where we want to add an extra layer of protection. So that's where even people are eating fish regularly, I say include extra fish oil. If you are using turmeric, we would recommend, okay, have a curcumin capsule. Even though you have tulsi in your front yard and you can chew on tulsi leaves, maybe consider a standardized extract of tulsi. Specifically, if people don't have tulsi in their yard, they would need tulsi. Earlier, our ancestors used to grow the guduchi or giloy in their backyard and would use that in herb tea. But now hardly anybody has giloy in their backyard, so we have to depend on a standardized capsule.
Okay, thanks. So we have now two questions, two separate questions on eczema. One is, what is the best diet for chronic eczema? That's one question. And the other question is can Ayurvedic diet help with eczema? So there are two questions on eczema.
So I think this question is directed to me. Coincidentally, my MD thesis 32 years ago was on skin diseases, and it won an international gold medal. That doesn't mean I have a magic wand. It just means that I have a lot of training in skin disease treatment in dermatology, and I have been treating quite a few skin diseases. So for eczema, I would not say that you should rely only on diet. You have to use all of the 4 components of a healthy treatment plan. Of course, diet is the first one to begin with, and then the second is lifestyle. Third is using proper natural medicine. That is, in Ayurveda, we use herbal and also mineral medicines. And then finally, doing detox or cleansing. And all of those 4 are required in eczema. Now, just general guidelines for eczema would be, again, what Veena has been discussing, anti-inflammatory diet, because eczema has inflammation in skin showing up. So you need to use all anti-inflammatory diet that Veena was just earlier discussing, and avoid inflammatory foods. So avoid sugar, avoid dairy, avoid artificial sweeteners, deep fried foods, and then saturated fats and foods that you might be sensitive or allergic to. So eczema is something that is a little bit chronic in nature. So you usually need to get it properly evaluated. Many times eczema can also be there if there is stress. Eczema can be there as a side effect of medications that you're taking. Eczema also could be there if you have been exposed to toxins, okay, whether it is cleaning chemicals in house or gardening chemicals, okay, or if you are into using art material and paints. So those are things that you need to watch for.
Thank you, Dr. Shanbag, once again. So we have a lot of questions. So what I'm going to do is I might pose 2 questions at a time which are related, just to see that we cover everybody. And of course, I know there's so much of a repository of knowledge here, but maybe we would like to be a little brief so that we can answer everybody. So the next one was, of course, a lot of people are hassled with, sitting all at home, etc. And what about people who have arthritis? So the question is, will Ayurvedic diet help them?
Yes, Ayurvedic diet is designed for every individual separately. So there is nothing called as one Ayurvedic diet, because one glove does not fit all. So the first step in Ayurveda is not to just prescribe a across the board diet, but to first find out who the person is and that is done by a very detailed evaluation of the person's mind, body functioning, and then that in Sanskrit is called as Prakriti, or in English is called as a mind body type or psychosomatic constitution. That is the more scientific term. And those are the terms that Gayatri talked about: Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So you need to first find out what is the unique mind body type of the person, and then accordingly for that mind body type of the person and for whatever health problems that they have, whether it is arthritis or other things, diet is individualized, customized. So in Ayurveda, there is no one standard diet plan. It is always individualized and customized by the Ayurvedic doctor or the Ayurvedic nutritionist examining and evaluating the patient.
Okay, so the next question is where to get good quality golichi, and would like to grow tulsi, golichi, etc. in our yard, and this is of course the local Bay Area. So any advice on that?
First of all, okay, it is Guduchi. So Guduchi, Guduchi is the correct Sanskrit term for it. In Hindi, it is called as Giloi, Giloi. And I don't think, okay, you get any saplings of that here. So unfortunately, you cannot grow it. So you will have to either get a sapling from India, and I don't know whether the customs and the FDA would allow that. And then to buy it, again, as I said, you can buy it from various websites. We have a website, we have a pharmacy. You can probably buy it in Whole Foods or also in Trader Joe. But do your homework and make sure that you buy a standardized herbal extract. Don't just buy a simple Guduchi or Tulsi powder. The Tulsi, on the other hand, okay, I think you can get saplings in this country. I have known, we have one in our backyard. So you can buy saplings. Again, look on internet or ask the local nurseries where you can buy a Tulsi sapling, and you can grow it, okay, either in your gallery, okay, or in your backyard, okay, or on your porch.
So I guess
Great.
there are a couple more questions.
Yes.
I will just bridge them together for you. So one is, somebody is asking, should we not add tulsi to our tea? And the other question, which is in tune with that, it says, I thought honey is not good or toxic in hot water. So what do you have to say about it?
So honey should not be cooked. So you shouldn't put honey in your thing and cook it. But when your tea is drinking temperature, honey in that is fine. That's one thing. Second thing is, okay, your question was about what was the earlier question, Sachin?
So about the tulsi, should we not add tulsi in the tea?
You can add tulsi to the tea. You can, if you have tulsi plant in your yard, you can add tulsi leaves, okay. But don't boil the tulsi leaves, okay, in the very beginning. As you already boiled the water and as you are seeping the herbs, so at that time, crush the leaves, okay, and put it in there, and it'll bring the extract out, and it'll give you the benefits of it. And and then also you can chew tulsi leaves, okay. That was the routine, okay, in the tradition that after you take a shower, every person would take a round of the tulsi, water the tulsi, and then chew a couple leaves. That was our Indian tradition, which was adopted from Ayurvedic science.
And the one more question for you, Vivek, is the eczema is a pitta condition.
No, in eczema there is both pitta and vata involved. So you have to address both of it. And more important than whether it is pitta or vata and whether it is labeled as eczema, you need to find out the cause of it. So some people, for example, children get eczema sometimes, okay, when they are sensitive or intolerant to the formula that they have been started in the first few months of their life. If they get not the mother's breast milk, but if they are given a formula as a sensitivity or as a reaction to that, they break into eczema. Then I have known of teenagers getting eczema when they get into puberty. Then eczema happens because of your sensitivity to cosmetic products, or as I said, cleaning detergents or gardening chemicals. Eczema can also happen if somebody is under a lot of stress. So you have to find out what is the cause of that vata and pitta imbalance, and then treat that cause. And it takes some time. So eczema is not something that heals very quickly. And it is not just a skin disease, it is also a metabolic disease. So somebody should not fool themselves by saying is that what is the best Ayurvedic cream for eczema. So eczema is not just on the skin. You shouldn't be focusing only on external treatment. You have to do internal treatment after finding the cause.
One more question which relates to exactly what you answered, Dr. Vivek. So the next question, the same person is asking, any specific diet for eczema?
I already answered that earlier.
Yes. Okay, so there's a question which is very dedicated to Veena ji. Veena, the question is, could you please advise a full day meal plan for gluten-free anti-inflammatory diet for arthritis pain and pre-menopause weight loss?
As Dr. Shanbach said, weight loss and what was the other one you said?
Oh, this is a gluten-free anti-inflammatory diet plan for arthritis pain and pre-menopause weight loss.
See, as Dr. Shanbach said, it is not any diet that you have to tell as a meal plan. You have to evaluate everything: lifestyles, food, and in exposure to all the chemicals, what you are having, and your lifestyle. If you are traveling too much, and there are so many ways, and then exercise, or how much you are detoxing. All this you take in count, and then you make a meal plan. It is not anything like meal plan is like a quickly done. It has to be personalized with a personal problem.
Yeah.
And one more question for Veena. It's how do you drink kombucha, and is it like a shot or the whole bottle at a time? So that's an interesting question.
I think serving size is on the bottle, and most of the bottles have 2 or 3 servings. But kombucha, you have to watch out one thing. A lot of there are flavors and all that, so there is a sugar included. So lesser the sugar, better it is. You don't need to all that sugar, so there is no purpose of otherwise replacing the sodas or anything. So watch out on sugar content. Then it's good. The lesser sugar is the better one, and the serving size is written on it.
So that pretty much covers most of the questions. Sachin, is there anything else that we are missing? Otherwise, we can
I just want to add what Vivek is saying, that there are a lot of good companies which are absolutely manufacturing for a long amount of time in even traditional recipes and formulations. In United States, there are 2 major companies, the Maharishi Ayurveda Foundation and the Bunyan Botanicals. So their all products are tested for all the impurities like lead and all those, and they are also certified organic. So those type of certifications are a useful factor, because a lot of sometimes herbal extracts and things can have contaminants in them. So that's really something to watch for. So if we get a product, it should be free of any other toxins and things, because that makes it more. Otherwise, to fix something, we end up in something else. So the quality is really important.
Very well said, Sachin, because anybody who imports the Ayurvedic products, they have to get it tested. And specifically in a clinic like ours, when we, as California licensed naturopathic doctors, we prescribe them and recommend them. We make sure that all of our products in our pharmacy are of a high standard and that they are clinically proven.
So thank you, Dr. Shanbach. Thank you, Gayatri. And thank you, Veena. I think it's a wonderful session. And the range of questions and of course the level of engagement is just absolutely admirable.
Thank you, Narenji, for
Thank you,
inspiring, and thank you, Somji and
Thank you,
Sachin,
Somji.
for coordinating this. Thanks
Thank you,
for your help.
Sachin.
Namaste.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you. Yeah.
Namaste.